Ring Out Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name of Papo Jr. Appreciate you clicking on the video. Or if the video just autoplay from the suggested videos, just highlight your boy because we're going to react to 30 WWE wrestlers who forgot their spots in a match. This video is by Wrestling Flashback, man. You'll be peeping that when you watch the weekly shows or the PLEs. You know, something is off in the match. Somebody missed their cue. Somebody's late. What is going on? Why did the ref react this way? What happened? So I want to see, you know, a list that Wrestling Flashback, you know, what he has in store for us. And yeah, man, it caught my interest when I saw this thumbnail. I think he did this a while back, though, but it's new to me. So if it's new to you, hey, holla at your boy, man. Let's watch it together. Let's react together. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's fucking get this shit, cuz. Boom.
1, 2, is this on?
Wrestlers will usually have spots planned out for their match, but if anything gets forgotten, stuff can get botched or break down
brainbuster off the
go to punch him,
apron.
Steph's behind him. I gotta punch, but he's got to duck the punch, and I want to hit Steph, and like he can see me rearing up, but he's just looking at me like I know he is not ducking. I grab him by the neck and I pull him out of the way.
Today we'll be looking at matches.
You see shit like that, it catches my attention, bro. The famous stupid.
The finish was supposed to be the second rock bottom, and Earl thought the second one was the first. The Rock was pissed. He picked me up.
Referees always, I mean, also
fucking finish.
botch the matches as well, bro.
WWE wrestlers.
That's why it ain't easy being a wrestler, bro, because this is pro wrestling. Everything is predetermined. Everything is scripted. We all know this, bro. If you're going to come at us and be like, this shit fake, my man, I'm going to put a hold on you and you let me know if it's fucking fake. Because these people, these athletes, men and women, they put their fucking bodies on the line for us, for our entertainment. And it's scripted. So they don't have to do this. They chose to because they love this shit. They love to entertain us. And they make good bread, you know. But this shit is hard as well, bro. What's next? What's the next move? And also, to be honest, especially with the ladies, bro, you can see how choreographed, you know, most of these women wrestlers are, man. Now you could tell, bro. Am I gonna mention names? No. You already know who the fuck they are, bro. All you gotta do is watch them wrestle, see how slow they are. No, people get fucking stargaze about how they look, but come on, when they wrestle, when the bell rings, they look so choreographed. Okay, what's the next step? John Cena's another one. He yells out, what's the next move? So John Cena is not, you know, he's a suspect in this shit. And he still does it to this day. So that shit is not easy, bro. You could forget.
Got their spot.
I go over and I'm choking my brother, right? Man, this motherfucker forgot everything. I got my face up close to him like I'm choking him. I'm laughing my ass off.
The SummerSlam 1998 match between
Shit
The
is not
Undertaker and
easy,
Stone
bro.
Cold Steve Austin
I'll fuck
filters
up if I
highway
was
to
a
hell.
wrestler.
WrestleMania
I'll
levels
fuck
of
up
hype
plenty of
surrounding
times.
it. But things went
Until
awry
I
after Stone
actually
Cold
get
got
it.
confused after colliding heads with the Phenom.
Look at that.
Undertaker
Oh.
lowered the head.
He just flashed me, but I was out.
Oh,
From that point on, Steve couldn't remember the rest of the match.
And I was laying on my back looking up at Earl in the lights, and I said, where am I? Earl started laughing. It was on pay-per-view.
Taker has said that the famous leg drop on the announce table was something they planned, but would only do so if he and Austin felt the match needed it. So given how the concussion threw a big spanner in the works, the two men deemed it necessary to bust out the leg drop through the table, since the match hadn't gone as smoothly as they'd hoped.
I damn near knocked Steve out that night, inadvertently, of all things. You know, my head hit him right in the chin, and his eyes rolled like a slot machine. And it took a few minutes to get, you know, to get Steve back with us.
Matches not going
Damn.
smoothly is something Ahmed Johnson was more than used to.
Look out, here comes Ahmed! Over the top!
Especially once he started appearing for WCW in 2000. One of his worst matches took place at that year's Super Bowl, where Ahmed battled Booker T for the naming rights to Harlem Heat. Johnson, going by the name Big T, completely forgot what had been planned, forcing Booker to pick up the pieces while Stevie Ray tried not to laugh on the outside.
Big T, as Booker T is helpless in his arms right now. Booker!
I remember my brother and Ahmed going over the match in the back over and over and over again. He went to shoot my brother in on a reversal. Oh, my brother shot.
look at, you could tell Booker T was like, yo, come on, man. He was like, ugh.
Reverse and just held it.
I'm gonna try not to stop a lot. It's a long video.
Man, this motherfucker forgot everything. I got my face up close to him, like I'm choking him. I'm laughing my ass off.
Stevie Ray did nothing to help his brother or tag partner in our last entry. But next we have a wrestler who forgot part of a spot only to be saved by their partner. It happened on the Sunday Night Heat pre-show to WrestleMania 18, where Lance Storm teamed with Mr. Perfect to take on a team featuring Rikishi. During his entrance, Mr. Perfect placed a towel in the left corner, which was important because the towel was to play a role in a big spot planned later. Perfect was supposed to
Yo, how smooth Mr. Perfect was with the fucking towel, bro. Like, this dude was Mr. That was his name for a reason, bro. It's
use it to
just...
counter Rikishi's stink face.
I'm gonna find a video of that shit, yo. A compilation of Mr. Perfect smooth shits, man. It's just fucking great to see. That's something that I used to love to imitate when I was younger. And I wasn't watching Mr. Perfect days, when I was younger. Like, this was before my time, a little bit before my time. But me knowing about who the fuck he was, man, I just love imitating the guy. You know, chewing the gum spit and then hit that shit, you know, like a fucking baseball, you know, with the towel. Like, that shit is just fire. And also the Razor Ramon toothpicking this. You know, fucking A, bro. That's why we love wrestling, man. They just look fucking badass doing shit.
The problem, as revealed by Lance Storm,
And they
was
kick
that they
ass.
set the move in the wrong corner relative to where the towel was. This meant Lance had to quickly retrieve the towel and hand it to Perfect so he had it in time to block Rikishi's stink face.
When his butt starts beeping, he's back
Oh, okay.
Smartest thing I've ever seen.
In the moments we've shown so far, you might not have realized something went wrong unless we pointed it out. But anyone watching Muhammad Hassan's match with Chris Benoit from the February 28, 2005 Monday Night Raw will have realized the finish got completely messed up. Hassan was meant to hit Benoit with the ring bell as Chris came down with the headbutt. This would have presumably given Hassan, who was undefeated at the time, the victory. The problem was Hassan forgot to turn over in time, meaning the Rabid Wolverine simply hit his opponent with a regular diving headbutt, only for Chris to sell as if he actually got hit with a bell like was planned.
Look out! Oh, Benoit's head! Driven. Did he get him?
Benoit, perhaps realizing how stupid this looks, kicked out of the subsequent cover at 1. He then told Hassan to low blow him, allowing the match to end in a disqualification.
I was wrong about that Benoit's head hitting that middle, and that was a low blow.
Sticking with Benoit now for a rather morbid example, as towards the end of his life, Chris struggled with memory issues. He made
But damn, can you make audible fucking calls like that? Benoit said, just fucking low blow me. Is that something? They probably got their ear chewed up by fucking McMahon and back when they got to Gorilla, bro.
sure to always ride with a travel partner and chose to call all his matches in the ring. This is because he had difficulties remembering directions and spots due to all the head trauma he'd received in his career. Some of Benoit's final opponents, Kevin Thorne and MVP, have spoken publicly about Chris's memory troubles at the end.
You know, he couldn't remember a match. He just wanted to call it all out there because he couldn't remember it. Mentally, he couldn't do it, knowing the way that he was at the restaurant. And, you know, he asked what I was going to order, and he ordered the exact same thing because he like the menu just wasn't there for him.
I also remember lots of times when Chris and I were in the ring and he would completely black out. He couldn't remember things, and it would happen all the time.
During that period, Benoit would have also been relying on referees giving him information. For most of his run, Earl Hebner was the WWE's most senior ref, but he still had some screw-ups from time to time, such as the June 2nd, 2003 main event of Monday Night Raw. Triple H looked to have pedigreed the Hurricane to finish the match, allowing Randy Orton to make the cover, but Hebner didn't count the 3, likely forgetting this was the finish.
And Orton's hooked the leg.
Oh, God.
Come on, ref!
Earl tried to make it look like Hurricane got the shoulder up, despite clearly not doing so.
Did he get the win or what? What happened? I don't have a damn clue what that call was.
Realizing he'd made a mistake, Hebner simply called for the bell as the crowd watched on in confusion, eventually starting a BS chant. Meanwhile, JR and King lambasted Earl's decision on commentary, as the show's ending fell flat due to the botch.
That was a bad call or an indecisive call. We got to call it like it is. And the crowd doesn't like it.
Hebner effed up even worse 2 years prior during the Rock and Kurt Angle's WWF title match at No Way Out 2001. This
WCW referees, like, I'm watching the Monday Night Wars, and WCW referee, they fucking push the fucking shoulders off on those that is planted on the canvas, you know, to help them. I'm like, you're supposed to kick out, and they do it for them. They do it to themselves, man. Like, so obvious.
time, Earl claimed that Angle kicked out of the rock bottom. The television audience
Earl
didn't have the
tried
best view
there,
of Kurt's
but
shoulders,
he said
but
he
that
called
didn't
the- he
matter
called
because
for
the
the
fans'
bell.
reaction told the whole story.
What happened?
Oh, God.
How in God's name
Hebner had forgotten the order of rock bottoms since a previous one had already led to a near fall, so with Earl acting as if Angle had got the shoulder up here, it meant the Great One had to hit a third and final rock bottom to finish the match and win the WWF Championship.
So the finish was supposed to be the second rock bottom, and Earl thought the second one was the first. The Rock was pissed.
Ah, shit.
He picked me up, rock bottomed me, and told Earl, count the motherfucking finish.
A referee as tenured as Earl Hebner probably wouldn't lose their job over a forgotten botched spot, but a younger ref might, especially if it's their first night on the job in WWE. This was soon what happened to Wes Adams on the August 12, 2008 edition of ECW, as he refereed only his second match for the company in the tag team main event. The sad part is, it wasn't even Wes that forgot his spot, it was The Miz. Miz failed to break up the pin as Matt Hardy pinned John Morrison for the count of 3. The young referee simply counted the fall because Morrison never kicked out.
Mark Henry calls for the tag, but instead, he goes for the cover. That's it. Defeats the Miz and Morrison.
Shortly after this happened, refs were instructed by Vince McMahon to count as if it were a shoot. If the talent didn't kick out, it was on them. But unfortunately for Adams, he was made a scapegoat following the incident as he was fired a week later.
I'd been trained to make judgment calls in the ring. I made one, and apparently they weren't happy with it. And I got fired.
Smoking Joe Frazier was even more inexperienced as a pro wrestling referee. The boxing legend acted as the special guest ref for Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes' clash at Starrcade 84 for the NWA title and $1 million. The match was meant to be a lengthy bloodbath, where Dusty would lose due to a referee stoppage on account of excess blood loss. The issue was Joe called the bout off far too early, with the American Dream still on his feet, ready to go. The anticlimactic finish resulted in a sour end to such a high-stakes match on a huge show.
Frazier steps in between them. And, what's happening here? Hold up, checking the cut. And he has stopped the match. Smoking Joe Frazier.
Yeah, he thought this was a boxing match.
For having really long matches, this one only goes 12 minutes.
It went because of Joe.
Okay.
He messed it up.
I got you.
Something he wasn't that familiar with, and he just made a mistake. If you look back on it, he called the match too early, way too early. He just panicked, not knowing what he was doing.
Our next botch also occurred on a big show due to inexperience from Chyna, who by August of 1997 had been in the WWF for a few months. Chyna often interfered in matches on behalf of the wrestlers she accompanied, so it was important for her to remember where she needed to be and when it was time to intervene. This didn't always happen though, like at the 1997 SummerSlam. Chyna was to pull Triple H out the cage door while Mankind climbed to the top. The Ninth Wonder of the World remembered her spot, but came in too early, meaning she had to leave the ring and come back later. This is because she forgot Mankind was to jump off the cage first, before then climbing back up to try and exit.
She's trying to drag Helmsley.
That's
once the hardcore
that's something I will pull off, man. Me thinking way too early. That's something I'll fucking botch as well, bro. You're supposed to get up there. Once you see the guy go up there, oh, I forgot he's supposed to make a jump off it and land. That's something I would have fucked up as well.
Legend hit the elbow drop. The match then went off as planned. Chyna missed the cue again a year later at the 1998 King of the Ring. Here she was to help out fellow DX members, the New Age Outlaws. After Jim Cornette interfered on behalf of the Outlaws' opponents, the New Midnight Express. Jim stood there threatening to hit Billy Gunn with the tag title belt for what seemed like an eternity. Chyna stood on the other side of the ring until realizing where she needed to be. Chyna then ran around ringside to run in and finally hit a low blow on Cornette.
Having to wait.
Yeah, he's about to say, having to wait for the next spot to happen, it just looks so fucking awkward. Wrestlers just standing there. Like, we see that a lot. If you watch it on a weekly basis on the PLEs, man. Shit, Cornette about to talk about it right now, man.
In the ring forever, so she could remember on live pay-per-view that she was supposed to be behind me, hitting me in the nuts when I'm looking at her from across the fucking ring and she's clueless.
A final example involving Chyna occurred at the Royal Rumble 2000. Things began to break down during a sloppy triple threat match, also featuring Chris Jericho and Hardcore Holly. While on the outside with Chyna, unsure of what to do next, Holly reminded the two wrestlers to do a double splash spot, where Jericho and Chyna would both come off the top at the same time and hit Hardcore. This is not what ended up happening, as
like, there has to be points into the match where, like, all right, this is the big move that's supposed to happen. Like, for example, the WrestleMania Night 1 main event, when you saw CM Punk and Roman Reigns laid down flat, face first. They were literally right next to each other with a middle, like, very spacious. Like, there was space between them. And then once you see that, I'm like, all right, something about to happen here. And then Paul Heyman's right there at ringside. Then you see him pull out a chair. I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. Like you could just tell, you know.
Both landed at the wrong time and came down with very little impact.
Ollie lying motionless on the canvas. What's
And sometimes they make it obvious as well, like, okay, something about to pull up here, you know. Oh God.
Holly's pin?
As we've seen, multi-person matches require more planning, so if the talent botch or go blank, it can be harder to change things up on the fly if things get messed up. Plus, it might be more noticeable if something goes wrong. At the 1998 WCW Road Wild event, Perry Saturn, Chris Kanyon, and Raven battled in a three-way. Midway through the match, all three men were down. Here, we can visibly see each man communicating to one another as they regroup and get back on track for the finish.
I wish I was in there. I'd give up.
I wish you were there.
I'd end it right now.
The Road Wild three-way might not have been memorable, but the triple threat main event of SummerSlam 2000 certainly was. In no small part thanks to the concussion Kurt Angle received after being pedigreed by Triple H on the announce table, which gave way too early.
Yeah, that shit is memorable
The
as
head
fuck.
injury meant Kurt couldn't remember anything that was planned. Angle had to be guided through the rest of the match by his opponents, the referee, and Stephanie McMahon.
I was just remembering whatever she told me. Then she looked at me and said, pull him out. So I pulled him out. She looked at me again and said, throw him into the steps.
Your Olympic hero sadly suffered a horrible, horrible concussion.
The table gave it too early. My head hit the concrete floor.
Oh God. Oh,
my hands
God.
were behind my back. I was on Loopy Street. Look, I start trying to get up, and Hunter's going to pull me back down.
There was no way that I could remember that whole entire match in my condition. And it's amazing how well they covered up for me.
I go to punch him. Steph's behind him. I gotta punch, but he's got to duck the punch. And I want to hit Steph, and like he can see me rearing up, but he's just looking at me like. And I know he is not ducking. I grab him by the neck and I pull him out of the way.
I like how Triple H did that shit, bro. Like he grabbed him. You saw it right there. He grabbed him, pulled him down, and then Kurt ducked right there. Oh, I'm supposed to. Once Triple H grabbed him right here, it's like he remembered. Oh, you're supposed to duck, and he ducked right there.
Another wrestler who forgot everything after suffering a concussion was Bubba Ray Dudley.
Man,
during the
that's
Roulette TLC match on October 7, 2002. Bubba got spiked on his head.
That's teamwork right there, bro. To put on a show for us, that's fucking teamwork, bro. Seriously, with the opponent and with
following a bulldog off the ladder from Chris Jericho. Years.
That's why they call each other family, bro. You know? They're on the road together. They talk about their spots, what they're going to do, speak to their producers, what's going to happen in this match. That's teamwork, bro. Put on a show for us, bro. That ass.
Later, Bubba and Chris discussed the match on the Talk is Jericho podcast.
It's crazy how you go on autopilot. You told me to go take the Van Daminator, and I said, from who? And then you told me to go up and do the Bubba Bomb, and I said, how?
Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley's Get the Tables line has become an iconic catchphrase in wrestling. But it all began because Devon legitimately forgot to get the tables in a match, prompting Bubba to remind his brother to do so.
Oh,
From
shit.
then on, the phrase stuck and got over huge with the fans.
That's
There was
dope.
only one time that ever happened when I forgot to get the tables, and he went, Devon, get the table, and it just caught on. To this day, everywhere we go, it's Devon, get the table.
That's
All
good,
because I
bro.
forgot the
That's
spot.
amazing.
Who's going to go through the table?
There's something here. 1, 2, 3.
Man, fuck the
Wonder Boy's
countdown. I don't
opponent
like
was the
that
one who went
countdown
blank in
shit.
This next example. It was during an 8-man tag team tables match on the February 8, 2016 edition of Raw. Big E was supposed to take a 3D through a table from the Dudleys following an enziguri from Jimmy Uso. E, however, rolled out of the ring, forcing Bubba to call him back in so they could carry out the finish. Big E's iconic New Day teammate Kofi Kingston was involved in one of the most infamous forgotten spot moments, and that's because of the response it drew from a furious Randy Orton. Orton and Kingston's feud was set to end in a match on the January 11, 2010 Raw, with Randy punt kicking Kofi in the head. Kingston instead began to
Hold
feud for
on. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on.
Big E's
Hold on.
iconic
Was this before New Day?
New Day teammate Kofi Kingston
Oh, no, this was during New. This is a main event show. Oh, okay. I'm looking. I'm like, why this dude dressed like a manager?
Kingston was involved in one of the most infamous forgotten spot moments. And that's
this
because
is
of the
the
response it
renewed
drew
day,
from a
like when they
furious
first
Randy Orton.
started.
Orton and Kingston's feud was set to end in a match on the January 11th, 2010 Raw, with Randy punt-kicking Kofi in the head. Kingston instead began to feed for the RKO, so the Viper had to switch gears and hit this move instead to win the match. Randy chewed out Kofi for not getting in position for the punt, angrily calling him stupid twice.
Feeling it. Goes for the RKO, connects. Kofi Kingston, jaw and face.
This was the end of Kingston's push, and he wouldn't feud with the main eventer again until 2019.
You think that I used my influence to hold you back? You're damn right I did.
Kofi's push in 2019 was brutally ended by Brock Lesnar.
Quickly with Kofi Kingston by Lesnar.
That was burial.
Lesnar likes to work on his own terms, including picking who he wrestles and what he wants to do in the ring. During the match with Braun Strowman at No Mercy 2017, it appeared as though Brock was meant to lock in the Kimura as soon as he kicked out of a spinebuster.
Just like that, spinebuster to Lesnar. Cover to the champion, almost had him.
The Kimura right
The
there.
Beast, however, continued to lay on the mat while Braun waited to be put in the submission. Lesnar either forgot he was supposed to immediately transition into the Kimura lock, or simply decided he didn't want to do it. Either way, Strowman remained in position to feed into the hold, only for nothing to happen.
For a long time on Strowman. He made to the ropes, forced to break, got back
Wow.
to his feet, delivered a spine buster.
2 years later, it was Braun that missed his cue during the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania 35. Strowman was booked to eliminate Luke Harper and Mustafa Ali, who were performing a suplex spot on the apron. Harper can be seen calling for Braun, who
R.I.P.
initially
Brody
didn't
Lee.
respond.
Now he's here to clean house.
This is a statement of dominance right now by Strowman. Oh, watch Ali.
Eventually, they repeat the spot, and Strowman is there. This time, though, he nearly causes an injury, as Harper and Ali crash and burn to the outside.
Yeah, that shit looked crazy.
We're going again, trying for that suplex again.
Oh God, that. Oh my God.
One of the
He
biggest
landed
botches in WrestleMania history was Papa Shango's late
Hit the
interference
table with
during
his
the final pin in the main
face,
event
the edge of
between
it in the
Hulk Hogan
corner.
and Psycho Sid at Mania 8. This botch forced Sid to kick out of Hogan's signature leg drop, becoming the first wrestler in WWF to do so, as the match ended in an awkward disqualification. For many years, fans believe Papa Shango missed his cue, but this is not the case, as Shango got a late cue from those in the gorilla position, meaning it was whoever directed Shango that botched and missed their cue.
I'm sitting there like a track star waiting to go, and then all of a sudden he goes, oh, go, go, go. They gave me a late cue.
Another missed or botched
Wow.
cue that ruined the finish of a match took place at In Your House Mind Games in 1997.
Like you be so into the match, you forgot the next cue. Like the match. Oh, I'm not saying that match was fantastic. I wasn't watching at that time. I wasn't even born during that time. I believe Hulk Hogan versus Sid, but the match could be so fucking good. You forgot the next fucking shit, the next cue, the next spot. You know, especially those that have to run from the back, and you're supposed to be like be let known by somebody, the producer or whatever. It's crazy.
Mankind and Shawn Michaels had just worked in a 5-star classic until Vader was booked to run down and interrupt the final pin, leading to a disqualification.
Damn, what match is this? I probably. Oh man, I got spoiled then. That's fine. Because Mankind is with Paul Bearer right there. Right now, I just watched King of the Ring. The birth of Austin 316 says I just whipped her ass. That one. And it was Taker versus Mankind. Mankind went over on that match. Shit, great with a Man of a Claw. Crazy.
Vader either got a late cue or was just too slow getting to the ring, because Michaels had to abandon the cover to start brawling with the Mastodon. However, Vader hadn't got a shot in yet before the bell rang for the DQ, so the finish didn't really make sense in the end. 1 year prior to Mind Games, Vader worked Shawn in the main event of SummerSlam 96. The match is best remembered for HBK going ballistic.
Guess I'm gonna see that
to
soon.
move out of the way of an elbow drop from the top rope. An enraged Michaels reacted by stomping on Vader's head and cussing him out for not moving.
Huh? Ooh. I'm gonna see that soon.
This was peak petulant child Tampa throwing 90s Shawn. Jim Cornette said it best.
Well, Shawn Michaels is still the single most talented athlete in wrestling today inside the ring. But outside, he's an adolescent, obnoxious jerk who takes his tights and goes home if he doesn't get his way.
And if you found God, that's generally because I've noticed people in this business that find God do so when everybody else hates him so bad they won't speak to him.
Vader was one of the numerous big men WWE missed the boat with. The jury is still out on whether Omos will be added to the list of names. One of his most notable botches occurred after the 7-footer began working as a single star
Let me holler at you, Homo sapiens, bro, real quick. Listen, outside the ring, he's a fucking great guy. Inside the ring, I'm sorry, I don't see anything. He's just a big guy doing big man moves. That's it. He can't fucking talk. I don't know what kind of manager will he have. I mean, I don't know how his wrestling was in Japan. There's a reason why they haven't booked him yet. They haven't been on TV. He hasn't been on TV yet. They see nothing in him. The way I see it, when his contract is almost expiring, they're not going to renew it. Little shocked that he wasn't part of the... I mean, I don't want him to lose his job, but kind of little shocked that he wasn't part of those releases. They got rid of Strowman. That was a little shocking right there. But Omos, I don't know, bro. What do you got for this guy? I can't picture anything. And now with the roster that you have, like, do we really need Omos? I'm sorry, we don't. If they find something for him and they book him right creatively and can shut me up, that'll be fucking great. But to be honest, I see nothing for this dude. Nothing. And he's not gonna last long. Hope they prove me wrong, but I don't see it. So y'all can cry all y'all want. It's just that if they don't have anything for that particular wrestler, it is what it is. If they don't get the reaction they're supposed to get, they assume they were supposed to be getting from the live fans, not the internet, the fans, and their merch is not pushing, they're getting canned. Sorry. Just how business is, bro.
In WWE. At the start of matches, the Nigerian giant would do a height measuring gesture between him and his smaller opponent.
They really tried with this guy.
I would say face to face. It's like face to...
However, on the January 10th, 2022 Raw, a still green and inexperienced Omos remembered his spot but wasn't sure when to do it, so he asked the referee for assistance.
Do I do the height thing? Go to the height thing.
One of Omos' most noteworthy feuds was against Bobby Lashley. Like Omos, Bobby
they tried, man.
During a spot on Raw during that awful 2019 to 2022 time period for WWE. After Lashley won a 6-man tag match on the March 4, 2019 episode of Raw, Bobby, along with teammates Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre, beat down one of their opponents, Kurt Angle. During the melee, both Corbin and Drew kept misdirecting Lashley as to where to go as they were about to hit Angle with the steps. This resulted in the almighty pacing back and forth in confusion until finally carrying out the spot as intended.
We got directing traffic. And now Lashley and McIntyre driving over the steps.
Bobby previously missed his spot during a mixed match challenge tag bout on October 16, 2018. Lashley teamed with Mickie James to take on the team of Bobby Roode and Natalya. Bobby was late coming in to interrupt Mickie and Natalya arguing, which forced Roode to yell out "now" and his opponent's name multiple times until Lashley finally intervened.
Omo is looking.
The 6-man elimination tag team tables match was a hot start to the 2002 Survivor Series pay-per-view, though there was one significant botch when Rico was standing on the...
I didn't give a shit about that mix match challenge tournament or whatever. I didn't give a fuck about that at all. A lot of people loved it. I didn't give a fuck about it at all. Never tuned in once.
On the top rope, waiting for Jeff Hardy to cut him off. Rico was there for so long, almost 15 seconds in total. He pretended to lose his balance before audibly yelling out for Jeff, who was down selling on the floor. Then at last, Hardy shook the ropes to crush Rico on the turnbuckle.
That match was infamous because Jeff was late to push you.
Is that what you yelled out, Jeff? God damn it! Yes.
God damn it, Jeff!
Yes.
Survivor Series 1998 also had a memorable botch.
What a way to do a podcast, bro. You just chilling, laying on your couch. The fuck? Kind of dope. I would never do it. That looks professional, to be honest.
It went down during Stone Cold Steve Austin's match with Mankind. The Big Boss Man was to run in and cost Austin the match courtesy of a chair shot to the head. The Boss Man wasn't there since he was in the back talking to The Undertaker.
There's no, well, there is a referee.
Therefore, the higher-ups sent Gerald Briscoe down to screw Steve, which may have been the first time Briscoe ever swung a chair in his life.
Mankind. Wait a minute. Briscoe, chair shot.
The Texas Rattlesnake was mad
What
as a
the
hornet when he
fuck?
got backstage, cussing up a storm and chewing Bossman out for missing his cue. Not to mention the awful chair shot Steve had to sell for.
He missed his fucking cue. He was in the dressing room talking to the Undertaker. And I love Ray Traylor to death, God rest his soul, but I cussed that motherfucker up and down and just lit into his ass.
Wow.
He didn't just forget one spot at SummerSlam 92. He forgot the entire match. That's because he was up all night smoking crack with Jim Neidhart. Quite the preparation for the biggest match of your career, main eventing the biggest show in UK history.
There were 80,000 tickets in less than 11 hours, and that broke the British Telecom phone.
His opponent on the night, Bret Hart, guided Bulldog through the entire match.
Yo, London, get ready, man. Y'all about to get a WrestleMania soon in that Wembley Stadium once again. I won't be surprised if they do 90K this time. Get ready. I say in 4 years, y'all get it. 3 to 4 years, y'all get it. Where we at? 25? I say 28, 29.
Which is saying something given
WrestleMania 45. Why not? When is WrestleMania 45? Next year is 42. 43 is 2027. 44, I said 29. WrestleMania 45, 2029. Why not?
given how incapacitated the Bulldog was, given how incredible the contest ended up being.
The first 30 seconds of the match, Davey went blank. So I think I had him in rear check.
Could be sooner.
Blank. I lost him. He was almost panicked. Bulldog, unfortunately, sat home all summer. Partied a lot, didn't train, and showed up in Wembley kind of overweight, out of shape, and totally paranoid, like, nervous. And I know Davey, had some drug problems and issues at the time, and he was not as prepared for that match. But I don't want anyone to ever think that that Davey didn't give 100% in the match.
The final moments of the 2018.
Like, you gotta give it to Bret, bro. Like he'll keep it real every fucking time, bro. Like when he always like. He'll let you know how he feels when it comes to pro wrestling. Like when he calls out people like these wrestlers nowadays, they're just pretending to be pro wrestlers, bro. It's like it's a fucking shoot because he took pro wrestling very serious. He looked like a pro wrestler. He spoke like a pro wrestler. And yeah, man. And cared about the fucking business, bro. But at the same time, if you fuck me over, I'm not gonna let that shit slide type shit. At the same time, he could be a little bit selfish here and there, but hey, he hates Goldberg with a passion. He said he can't wrestle, and we can all see it. The majority of us agree with him. He just has a great spear. Who's better, Goldberg or Braun Breaker with the spears? I don't give a fuck. I'm giving it to Braun Breaker. I don't give a shit. I know he was a killer, Goldberg, but I don't know, man. I'm giving it to Braun Breaker, bro. Because we're getting that match soon. After Gunther.
Royal Rumble match is remembered for John Cena screaming at the top of his lungs for Shinsuke Nakamura. This is because Nakamura and Finn Balor were meant to attack Cena during a standoff with Roman Reigns. John and Roman stared each other down for ages, prompting Cena to scream Shinsuke's name. Balor and Nakamura could have missed their cue here since the stare down lasted forever.
Cena is known for that. He just screams out what's next loudly. Shinsuke now.
Cena could have also called an audible to make the two come in early since the fans were raining down boos and you both suck chants to Cena and Roman.
That WrestleMania moment once again of the WWE fans here in Philadelphia.
Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero's rivalry in 2005 is one of the best ever of their respective careers. However, during their infamous SummerSlam 2005 custody of Dominic ladder match, there was a spot that didn't quite go to plan. Near the end of the match, Guerrero had Mysterio trapped underneath the ladder while taunting Rey as he was inches away from winning. Eddie's wife Vicky was supposed to run down the ring and push her husband up the ladder. This didn't happen, however. Vicky missed her cue and Eddie was awkwardly standing on the top of the ladder, holding the briefcase and struggling to unhook it, very obviously stalling time for Vicky. Vicky. With Vicky nowhere to be found, Guerrero and Mysterio had to improvise. Guerrero falls to the mat frustrated, and he screams, "Where the fuck was Vicky? God damn it." The two luchadors then improvised some more before Eddie Guerrero delivered his signature Three Amigos and attempted the spot once again. This time Vicky shows up and pushes Eddie up the ladder. Rey Mysterio then climbs and wins the match, and
whose fault was that? It has to be the person that's supposed to let her know, oh, go. There should be somebody telling her, go. It can't be her knowing these shits, bro. Especially somebody that has not done this before. Somebody should be fucking assisting her. Letting her know when to go.
in custody of his son Dominic. Now if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out.
She was probably at ringside or something. I don't know. For somebody that has never done this before, they should be having assistance, man. A producer backstage, like give him something. Like have a phone in their fucking pocket and vibrate. Boom. Okay, that's my cue to go. Type shit. This was an interesting fucking video. I liked it. Seen a lot of things that probably I never seen before. Then that stomped to Vader's head. I mean, I heard that story before, and I think they spoke about that on the Dark Side of the Ring episode of Vader. Shawn Michaels was fucking pissed off. He had to stomp him in the head. Fucking A. It's not easy. It's not an easy job, bro. You got to stay in physical shape, mic skills, charisma, in-ring work, your work ethic, and knowing how to fucking tango with your partner inside that ring and the referee. What spot is next? That's what, like I said before, like it's mostly women matches. You see how choreographed they are. Like you watch them go to the next step. Like so slowly. And they look, I'm like, okay, this way. Okay. Now I gotta do this. It's like, bro, what the fuck? It's not smooth. It's very like, yikes. I wish they could work on the ladies more. Not all ladies. There's some superstars out there. You like that women's fucking triple threat match, night 2. That Io, Rhea, and Bianca. That match went smoothly. That shit was fucking one of the greatest triple threat women's matches I've ever seen, bro. Let me know another one, because that one was fucking fantastic, honestly. Do not fucking talk to me about Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte. Don't even talk to me about that shit. Seriously. Yo, if you made it this far in the video, man, appreciate you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Follow Wrestling Flashbacks up in. He has great contact. And damn, I had an idea for another video and I fucking forgot. Hope it comes to my mind. Anyways, appreciate you. Till next time.
Goodbye. And good night, bang.
Just hit myself. Peace.
Similar